Listen, I know, sometimes it feels like every day is the same as the last, and nothing special will happen. But April 2025 is preparing changes for you that could completely alter your life. No, I'm not joking. Get comfortable, because what you're about to hear will really hit you hard. Imagine, it's just an ordinary day. Morning, coffee, work, or studying. And suddenly, right on April 1st, a message arrives from someone you haven't spoken to in a long time. Maybe it's an ex, an old friend, or someone you once had a serious conflict with. And suddenly, the past comes to life, and you start recalling all the emotions you thought you'd buried. You'll be sitting there wondering, should you reply or delete the message? Pretend like nothing happened? And the longer you think, the more you realize you have no real answer. Later that same day, suddenly there will be too much attention around you. You'll notice how people who usually ignore you start looking at you differently, asking for advice, or just constantly talking to you about something. At first, this will feel nice, but soon the question will arise. Is this attention sincere, or is there something else behind it? On April 5th, get ready for a serious conflict that will make you look at your loved ones in a completely different way. You might feel that someone you trusted is capable of things you'd never even imagine. You'll spend a long time trying to make sense of what happened, asking yourself questions, and possibly even feeling completely alone. The most intense moment of the month will be on April 13th, the pink full moon. Emotions will hit you like a wave, and it's on this day that you'll have to make a decision you've been avoiding for a long time. Maybe you'll have to decide whether to part ways with someone whose relationship with you hasn't brought happiness for a while, but you've been afraid to change. Or perhaps it'll be about work that exhausts you. But the stability stops you from taking the step toward your dream. Believe me, the decision will be hard, but necessary. Just 2 days later, on April 15th, an important event will happen. 4 planets will align in the sky. This will be a kind of signal from the universe that it's time for you to make a change in your life. You might decide to have an open conversation with a loved one, or finally make a decision that has been building up for a while. It's important to remember that the truth might be painful, but living with it is much easier than living in self-deception. Now listen closely and make your choice right now. I can tell you a fact that will truly surprise and even shock you, or I can give you a very important and valuable piece of advice that will be useful for you in April. What do you choose? Here's what could surprise you. In April, Leo will have the chance to meet someone who will radically change their life, but it might also be an unpleasant encounter. Sometimes fate brings us together with people who are meant to teach us a lesson. Maybe you'll learn something about yourself that you hadn't noticed before. Are you ready for such a twist? And here's the advice you'll definitely need. On April 21st, when Mercury is at its farthest from the Sun, you need to have that difficult conversation you've been avoiding for so long. Yes, it may be unpleasant, painful, but after it, you'll feel like everything finally falls into place. You'll finally be able to move on without the burden of the past. The most important thing will happen closer to the end of the month, on April 22nd, when the peak of the Lyrids meteor shower takes place. Making a wish that night is not just a game. It's a chance to truly change your life. Be careful with what you wish for. Wishes don't always come true the way you expect, and the consequences can be unexpected and not always pleasant. On April 27th, the new moon will occur, and on this day, life will give you the biggest test of the month. You'll face a decision that will affect not only you, but also your surroundings. This will be a responsibility that will completely change your perception of yourself and the person you want to become moving forward. Remember, no matter how hard or surprising your April turns out to be, it will be exactly what you make of it. Share in the comments what you're most looking forward to, or what you're most afraid of. Maybe your story will appear in the next episode, and together we'll find the answers to all your questions.